Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode, episode 92. Yes, the series does continue. If you didn't hear that message, I know some of you kind of skip forward from time to time, and as Azumi sets off here with a -1 race day condition, which is definitely not great, and I don't know what kind of effort we can afford to give. It's only 10K, so I'm thinking actually we should be pushing a lot harder than I was. Final stage, La Vuelta. 2 riders in the top 5, but probably not going to be competing for the win, but you never know. Moss has a bad day. Martinez has a +4 or 5. It's possible, but doesn't feel likely. Okay, yes, I think we're definitely dealing with a red bar kind of day situation where 86, 87 is the pace you want to be pushing to get the most out of your riders. Azumi 31st, 31 seconds down from what I'm seeing so far. For example, if you look at, like, say, Felix Gross is 30 seconds down overall. Gaviria 10 spots or 11 spots later is 40 seconds down. You know, we're looking at 10 seconds separating about 10 spots. So assuming that as Garzone, you can see back down to he's okay with 900 meters. We need to see what that finish line is like, but we also need to set up. Garzone will try an 87 for him from an earlier phase. Azumi, last 900 meters, finish line. Okay, it's a tuck at the end, so you really can be kind of right down to the limit at that stage. That was 1 minute, 1 minute down. Garzone's a 70 time trial, 72 prologue, so about 71 and a half. Rating. Let's see what kind of hanging on to an 87 will do, because once you kind of get over the top, that last couple of kilometers is largely downhill. Okay, 34th, 29 seconds down for Garzone. But here's the thing, 50 seconds, a minute, it's going to be really hard to gain time, as we're going to have to back off a little bit here. You cannot go 87 continually. Huggins is about to set off. Okay, Garzone. I think we can now push again. Let's set up Huggins. Really trying to figure out what exactly can we do here. Garzone. See how he actually recovered a little bit. +4 for him. Great race day condition. What can Huggins do? Let's go, buddy. Let's hold that 87. This could be a very good competitive time. Looking at 79 time trial, 84 prologue, which means probably 82, 83 rating today. Second place, 6 seconds down. Bissiger is a full 12 seconds ahead. That's rough. Attacking for the line, and he's 4th, 14 seconds down as Arrieta heads out. 4th is good. I was hoping for a little bit more. I was hoping to at least, you know, get that couple of seconds to get up there. Barta just beat the time too. Arrieta, 70-71. Not great for him. Okay, carry on with an 86. Chergai, let's slow down for a moment. He's on a +5. He is not a good time trialist, but he can be putting in a very good time here, and has too much energy to spare, so that 87 can definitely hold from here. And back with Arrieta. I think we can go back to an 87 over the top here. 51st, minute 1. Right about a minute for 3 guys competitively. Chergai comes in 35 seconds down. Now, we're 44 seconds behind Moss, so that is a very, very big ask. We're on to Johannesson at 27th. He's 37 minutes behind, so no threats, you know, at this stage. And we're not worried about the stage. Huggins was our only good time trialist, as Gonzalez is getting ready to set off. But now we are up to 14th position from here, and he's got a big negative race day condition. Let's hope that's the last we see of that. 2 guys on minuses when none of them should be experiencing minuses. We've managed the fitness of this group very well. Gonna bring his average down to about a 67 and a half maybe. I mean, already we had to back down to an 86 early. Krantz is getting ready to set off, though. We will check in with everybody else, though, before we kind of get Back in a second time. Minute 19 down. Okay, we're going to go back one guy at a time now that we're up to, you know, just about the top 10. VR. Wow, that's actually a decent time. 30 seconds down for him. He's decent and just 10 seconds behind. Sits 12th overall. Hugh Carthy put in okay time. He's half a minute already down. Lopez is already a half a minute down and is the first top 10 guy. Koos doing decent because he's a good prologuer compared to a time trialist. Godu isn't good and he is not yet to the time check. Let's get with Krantz now in his 5th place and get this thing set. He's got a +3. He's got a plus. Oh, he's got a beautiful +3. Look at that. 78.81, which, I don't know, 80? That's about an 80 average. Krantz, this is going to be a good time for him. Let's check back in up ahead. Okay, Godu had just passed. He was 12 seconds down in 15th. That's pretty dang good. Rubio is so weak in the time trial. He's not going to put in a very good time. 13:51, 13:49 down on the leader. Van Dienenbiel, not much of a time trialist. Krantz is not going to be threatened by them at 8:26. But he's also not going to threaten Foss at 7:04. And Foss is quite good. Foss is not going to threaten Buitrago. And that's your top 3. So this is where we're getting into it with Buitrago about to set off. He's a 71. 71. So very much right there. And we've been seeing he's been, you know, getting those +5s every stinking day. 86 for a little bit. Martinez is about to set off. Oh, he's got a good race day condition. He's a terrible prologuer, though. So this is where that really hurts. Only a 73 on the prologue and a 76 on the time trial. So it's about a 74 average. That's going to be just enough to put in a competitive time. And no problem holding off Buitrago. I mean, he's got a 3-minute advantage over Buitrago. But I don't think that's going to be enough to challenge Moss. Krantz, 14th, 11 seconds down at the first time check. Martinez cannot stay on an 87 for too long, but he will for a little bit. He got a +2. He needed a +5 to have, I think, any chance of actually threatening. Krantz can go back to an 87 now. Coming up on the first time check, we're going to check in on everybody else besides Moss. 49th, 25 seconds down. It's not a terrible time, but it's not a very good time, especially if you're going to challenge somebody who's that far ahead of you overall in time. Buitrago is 12 seconds better. 12 seconds better. That's that race day condition, folks, and the expert difficulty, but that's that race day condition. Foss is third, 4 seconds down at the time check. So much for Krantz's really good time. He's being eclipsed by the other guys around him. But Van Dienenbiel's the last one out there. So we're looking at 7th place and below have already crossed the line. Huggins is still 6th. I think he's going to get challenged by 1 or 2 of these guys behind him. But, well, really just one. Krantz, I don't think, is quite going to be good enough to challenge Huggins. He's only 3 seconds up on Huggins at the time check. And Foss is the one who's going to challenge. But Moss has set off, has not crossed the line yet. Let's check in on Moss and watch as he crosses. He's a 72.5. 25 seconds down, which is the exact same time as Martinez. So we are not gaining any ground on him at all. Our +5 puts us right about where Moss is. So I'm guessing Moss is about a 0. Because realistically, here's the thing about time trial. When you're the same, the human can beat the time trial. You can beat the AI in the time trial again and again and again. When you throw in the expert, they get that bonus. And then you throw in the race day condition. That's where you're like the double bonus. You could beat one bonus. You can't beat both bonuses. Moss looks to have about a 0, so the one bonus is keeping us about level. We would have needed a +5 to get a solid bonus for Martinez to be the guy who's better than him in the time trial to begin with, before you throw in the expert bonus on top of it, because he's looking at probably a 76 time trial, even on a 0 race day condition. The AI just doesn't manage it as well as you can, but yeah, you can handle 1 bonus, not 2. So it looks like we're not going to gain any time on Moss, and that was what I predicted. Krantz, 22 seconds down, 15th. That's good. That's good. Martinez push a little bit over the top here. You have that little bit more to spare, 58 kilometers an hour. Okay, now ease off a little bit as you go to descend. And to the finish line, 47 seconds down. That's not going to gain anything on Moss. Moss is going to have a very, very similar time. 48 seconds. We gained 1 second on Moss. Like, considering he is a better time trialist, that's not bad. But that does give the overall victory, as expected, to Moss. Bissiger has taken stage ahead of Dennis, and Foss took 3rd. Great time from him. Huggins took 7th, so we got a top 10 on the stage. Moss ahead of Martinez, Buitrago, Foss, Krantz, Badu, all the way up to 6th. Van Dienenbiel, Rubio, Kuss, Sepp Kuss, and Lopez rounding out the top 10. So Gaudu, really good time trial performance for him to jump a couple spots to 6th. Best climber, Buitrago takes the points. I mean, Martinez does get the young rider jersey, at least, even though he does not win the overall. And we crush the team classification by nearly 18 minutes over Jumbo Visma. Considering time trialing is our weakest area, and Prologue is definitely not any better for us, getting a rider in the top 10, getting a rider in the top 25 is good, considering the comparison, the direct comparison with Moss, and how much better he is than Martinez to begin with. Throw in the expert bonus and the kind of condition he's been in throughout this race, though it did appear that the last 4 or 5 stages it wasn't there. It would appear that today he was right about a 0 on his race day condition. Martinez needed a +5. Even then, I didn't think it would be enough. Moss probably needed a negative race day condition. If I were to guess, he had a 0, and exactly 0. Buitrago had a positive race day condition yet again. I don't know if it was a +5. I don't think it was necessarily a +5. What was his time on the stage, I suppose, is important to know here. You can see just how much that race day condition bonus can make a difference. Okay, Buitrago was here a second ago. There he is. 71-71. So combo obviously is exactly 71. But then you throw in that expert bonus, right? We're talking about a +4 at this stage. So that's a 75. That's barely better than what we had with Martinez. And yet he was just 4 seconds off of Krantz. Krantz had a huge race day condition bonus, and Krantz is a 75-76 to begin with, and had a very good race day condition. He was 78-79, and yet there was 4 seconds separating them. And at 26, you're looking at 21 seconds better than Martinez. 21 seconds. That's nearly half time difference wise. Now, of course, you know, this is not Bissiger with an 80-82. It wasn't that good, but it was halfway in between. So you're looking at probably something like a 78 for Buitrago on the day. Maybe even closer to an 80, because Bissiger probably had a positive race day condition as he was targeting that for the win. So given that, Buitrago had roughly a 78. His base is a 71. That's +7, right? There's only one way to get that. That's a very good race day condition. No, that's not the way. That's part of it. And the expert bonus, right? We already said the expert bonus gets you to about 75. The race day condition got him at least +3 more. So he had a +3, +4, +5, somewhere in that range today. I would say probably a +3, +4. That's what we're trying to compete with, and that's why it can be challenging and why we have to be perfect all the time. Moss Buitrago wasn't perfect every stage. I don't think he had the fitness peak earlier on in the race. I think it came later on, but he was a breakaway guy. He was in the breakaway stage after stage after stage. I mean, he was picking up points because he got so many intermediate points, because he won multiple stages from the break. He came back into that race late. He had 35 mountain points. It's not a ton. He didn't spend every stage in the break or anything, but he was a regular feature in the breakaway, and one of those who the right couple of stages at the right time without Moss keeping him under control and stopping him from going away, even though he had already climbed into the top 10, back-to-back big-time stages where he gained multiple minutes and won a couple of stages. That brought him right into that top 3 classification. And he was clearly in form at the end of the tour as well. But Moss started the race in form. Stage 1 was that team time trial. Stage 2, Moss won. Punchy stage. Stage 3, Moss won. It was a punchy stage. I quick simmed those. If you remember, we bypassed the early part of this race. We took our chances, and those chances didn't put us in a bad position, but they didn't put us in the same position we would have been. The 46 seconds difference at the end, had we played every stage, maybe we would have won this one as well. But that's okay. I'll take a podium. I'm happy with a podium. But Moss, right up until the last 4 to 5 stages, was +5s, +4s. Every day, every stage. And until that last few stages, he cracked once, and then we had one perfectly played stage that we cut a little time. But Moss was just so hard to beat in this race, with those +5s in particular, and he had a very quick, very strong start to this race. 3 time trials, difficult for us, really difficult. In the future, I would like to have some better time trialists to compete for the Grand Tours, for any stage race, really. Martinez is nice. Krantz is nice and heading out. Gonzalez is fine. I like these guys, but they're not the complete rider. But you deal with what you have. You make the best of it. And we won a Grand Tour. We won a green jersey. And we took a podium and a top 5 in another Grand Tour. And a 14th. Pretty dang good season for us, but definitely not flawless. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I know it was a short one, but we were just here to wrap up La Vuelta. And if you couldn't tell, it's a bit dark in the lighting behind me because it's already nighttime. Busy times for me are coming once again. That's going to do it for this episode, though, and we will continue on with our now twice weekly schedule. Instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that is the new series. If you haven't seen it yet, that is PCM22 Dragons. Be sure to check it out. I'm recording this day 1 of that one being out, and it's getting a huge positive reception. So really, thank you to the community for that one. And if you haven't seen it yourself, be sure to check it out. But in the meantime, this series, that's going to take over the Monday, Wednesday, Friday slot. This one takes over the Pro Cyclist slot from before, which is Tuesdays and Saturdays. So I'll see you again on Saturday. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.